Hey everybody, it's Pastor John with your Midweek Moment for this week. You know, the Bible tells us that we're supposed to rejoice always and in all things. But that's not always easy. Let me give you an example of what I mean. My story begins yesterday morning. No, actually it doesn't. My story begins Monday night. The reason my story begins on Monday night was because apparently on Monday night I forgot to set the alarm on my iPhone. So Tuesday morning, I overslept. I didn't wake up until a little after 9:30. Well, I get up, and I run to the bathroom, I take a shower, I get dressed. I run downstairs, I have my morning bagel and orange juice. And as I'm drinking my orange juice, I spill it down my front. So I gotta put down my orange juice, I've gotta run back upstairs, I've gotta change my clothes, I come downstairs, I go out of the house, I get in the car, I start driving to church. And I get about as far as Gaylordsville when I realize that I was in such a rush to leave the house that I forgot my computer. So I go around, I turn around, I come back to the house, I pick up the computer, I get back on the road to work, and as I'm driving from New Milford to Kent, I get stuck behind the sort of driver who puts the brakes on when they go uphill. That's the sort of situation in which it's difficult to rejoice, I suppose. And it brings up a question. What do we do in life when things go wrong? Now, the things that happened to me they weren't really dramatically wrong. They were in fact, they're more sort of comically wrong. When they all happened to you at the same time, the only really bad thing that happened to me out of all that sort of stuff is that I'm going to have to pay to get my sweater dry cleaned. But that's not the worst thing in the world. But sometimes we're in situations where things go seriously wrong. Where we get a diagnosis from the doctor that we don't expect. When a family member or a friend or one of our kids gets into some sort of really serious trouble, when you lose the job, when the promotion falls through, you know the sort of stuff I mean. What do you do in situations like that when things go wrong? Well, ironically enough, you can listen to what the Bible says. You can actually try to rejoice in all things, because here's the thing of it. Even when things in your life go wrong, there are probably other things that are still going right. So even when you get the bad diagnosis, maybe you get a raise. Or if one of your kids gets into trouble, maybe the other kid's doing brilliantly well. If whatever it is, when you get stuck in traffic and you can't get from Kent to New Milford, maybe you can rejoice in the fact that there's nobody at the office waiting for you. My point is that even in the midst of difficult situations, it can be possible to find things to rejoice about. If nothing else, when you go through difficult times, you can rejoice in the fact that you don't go through them alone, because no matter what it is you go through and no matter what it is you do, God is always with you. So like the Bible says, rejoice at all times and in all things. Yeah, I guess that's about it for this week. So, thanks a lot.